everybody. My name's Ian Simmons. I'm Vice President, actually, Business Development within the R&D group. So we do all the fun stuff. So we'll take you through a summary.
So you're Vice President of R&D?
Business Development in R&D. So as Jim was talking about earlier on in terms of our competitive strength, really, we're the most diverse supplier in the market today. And the fact that we have so much knowledge on the complete vehicle side, whether it's doing complete development architectures and vehicle design through the vehicle assembly work that we do in Europe, that's very significant how it influences the rest of our business. So we have systems and components within all of the fields that you see on the screen, and that plays to the strengths of Magna. Also cross groups looking at different technologies. When we look at the work that we did on the MMLV program with the DOE recently, where we're looking at different materials, in the first case it was the metallics, but if you look at solutions then that can increase use of composites, we can provide all of the different technologies, whether it's metals, whether it's composites, plastics or whatever, to give an ideal solution to match the strategy that a particular OEM might have. And the OEMs tend to have different strategies for their architectures depending on their own in-house requirements. So there's a lot of strength in Magna that our competitors just don't have based on the makeup of the company. The drivers for what we do in R&D in our outlook when we're looking out to 2026 is we're looking at all the mega trends within the industry. And the 9 that you see on the outside all influence what the OEMs are doing in terms of their strategies for investment, for product, for features, and they also cascade down into Magna in terms of how we look at our future and where we should be investing our time and effort. And the 3 major categories that rolls into is legislative or regulatory that we have to comply with our customers, comfort and convenience, which is the expansion of features and functions on the vehicle that the customer sees, and then the great emphasis we see at the moment, active safety, the explosion in connectivity, and also autonomous driving, which is probably the main subject everyone's talking about today in terms of automotive technology. All of those drive down into the 4 pillars that you'll see today. As you walk around and see the technologies, you'll see they're classified within one of those 4 areas. And of course, in the automotive business, they all have to be affordable in terms of a technology solution. And in terms of Magna, be able to take a technology and take it to market. Obviously, we have a great track record in giving innovation, but in an affordable way. So the key trends that are out there at the moment, autonomy, not a surprise. Everyone's working on autonomy and connected solutions. Electrification, not just EVs, which will still make up a relatively small amount of the total global volume, probably 6 or 7% overall through 2025, but the electrification of components and systems on the vehicle, taking away parasitic losses, looking for ways to improve efficiency and improve fuel economy by making the systems and components on demand. Also, you're going to see features and functions, more and more demand for extra gadgets, if you will, on the vehicle, and all of those are basically going to be provided through electronics. A new economy. What does vehicle sharing, what does ride sharing mean for the future and the development of the vehicle? If we look out 10 years, what will big cities look like? How will they use vehicles in the future? All of this is going to influence the OEMs in terms of where they go, and is an opportunity for companies like Magna that can support that technology going forward. So with autonomy, the debate is still going on. When are we going to see full autonomous vehicles? It's a challenge for legislation, it's a challenge for insurance, it's a challenge for sensors, AI, software. All of those really have to be fully robust before you've got a vehicle without a brake pedal and without a steering wheel. But a lot of research and engineering work is going on in order to meet those challenges of the future, and Magna's part of that. We have a lot of ADAS and autonomous vehicle technology development going on within the business at the moment, and a lot of those features and functions you already start to see in the market today. And here really, these are the ADAS features that are on the road. We're active in all of these particular areas that provide a support and a functionality, and these are going to become more complicated. These are going to be part of the connected vehicle solution, where you're going to get vehicles communicating with infrastructure and communicating with each other. And one of the strengths for Magna is that we know how to integrate all of these different systems and fuse them to a complete solution for an OEM. And that's one of the key strengths that Magna has in offering these particular features and functions. So there's a huge opportunity. If you look at the total market out there, about 58 billion overall when looking out to 2025. And you can see here the particular areas that Magna are active in, whether it's safety, powertrain, or body and security. That basically gives us an opportunity of a $35 billion market. So there's a huge amount of emphasis in terms of looking at solutions for innovations that will apply to this particular market sector. And with our strength and total vehicle capability, it's a huge benefit for us in terms of taking these solutions to our OEM customers overall. So when we talk about connectivity, one of the major issues is the safety of drivers or occupants. We've both invested in and partnered with Argus, a company that provides a very robust and unique cybersecurity solution. And this is just an example of some of the investments and activities that we've had really ahead of the curve. This was done before the major incidents happened in terms of hacking. And we're looking to deploy this technology as a growth of our electronic component systems. So these systems can be integrated into domain controllers, gateways, various solutions that will really provide an added value to an OEM where they've got a sense of security that if they're using our systems in the future with an embedded cybersecurity solution, there's a level of insurance that the vehicle will be protected. And this is something that the industry is taking a closer look at today. We're part of Auto ISAC out of Washington, looking at how to look at the legislation and the trends. We've noticed that NHTSA recently put out a recent publication in their proposals of how cybersecurity should be dealt with, and we're participating at the front end of that, really trying to drive this forward to help protect products for our customers in the future.
Do you have a name for this already? Have you codenamed this part?
It's embedded within our electronic systems, so it's known as just cybersecurity solution from within Magna. There's no particular brand attached to it at the moment.
Hey, Ian, can you talk just a little bit louder so the back can hear you?
Certainly. So in terms of electrification, we've already just touched on the fact that EVs are continuing to grow. We're seeing a lot of OEMs introducing that technology. We have a lot of component and system solutions that go into EVs. But the main drive for the market in terms of offering fuel economy solutions is really hybrids, and that's where most of the activity is. You see 6 to 7% in terms of the EV population globally. Hybrids, certainly in the North American market, is going to be in the 20s and above. So that's where the emphasis is. Now the good thing about Magna is both in our powertrain and our technology solutions, we have components and systems that will support both of those products as they go forward. As we said, mechanical to electrical. There's an increasing usage of electrical systems, whether it's motors, whether it's actuators, sensors. There's a great proliferation of these technologies coming into vehicles. Even the most humble of parts, even bumper fascias, now are going to find sensors embedded to a greater extent as they go forward in terms of how you can monitor the vehicle, particularly when you're starting to look at autonomous driving. Data streaming off autonomous vehicles in the future is going to be valuable from a user point of view, from a manufacturer point of view. So this is just going to continue to grow in the future. We're already seeing that trend in the next 5 to 6 years growing extensively. So content per vehicle, the market and the opportunity for Magna holistically across all of its activities continues to grow. We're seeing the transition of what were traditionally mechanical systems like water pumps, oil pumps, transmission systems, the controllers for transmission systems, and even the humble door latch, all of those moving to an electronic solution. So this is also enabling you to manage the parasitic losses, the mechanical losses that now can be controlled on demand for electronics. And then you're going to see all the future benefits that are going to come from connectivity and the related services and products that go with that. When you think of what the connective world, Internet of Things is going to do in terms of vehicles, particularly if you're in an autonomous mode and what people are going to do in the vehicle as a result with extra features and functions, there's a huge amount of end consumer potential there for companies like Magna that are offering a full suite of services and products as we go forward.
What's a smart latch?
I'm sorry?
Smart latch.
Smart latch is, you'll see an example today. It's an electronic latch. Basically, the mechanical systems of opening a latch have basically been removed.
Actuators?
Yes, there's an actuator within the latch, and we introduced it with the BMW i8.
Yeah, i8 was the first program. We've got a couple coming into North American market here soon.
So another challenge for companies like Magna, and again, our whole vehicle experience really gives us a unique perspective, is how a vehicle is going to be used in the new economy. there's a lot of discussion over shared economy, shared vehicles, multiple usage of vehicles, even shared ownership. What's that going to do to the duty cycle? We actually believe the number of miles is going to increase in terms of miles per vehicle driven. So there's actually an expansion of the opportunity going forward. But the usage case and how the vehicles were used, the fact they're not owned by the users is going to be a challenge for the industry of how they provide products, how they design and engineer components and systems that are for multiple use rather than targeting a particular individual. In big cities, which are going to proliferate significantly, people are going to tend to drive less, which would indicate that shared technology or shared vehicles is going to be important. So for us, we believe it's going to be an opportunity of the future. More products, increased usage means higher duty cycles, more parts sold. So we think it's an opportunity.
So the 5,000 miles or less in a year?
If someone's in the city,
yeah,
they're likely to want to drive probably 5,000 miles or less, which says you want a shared economy or access to a vehicle on occasional usage. You're not going to want to own a vehicle if you're only going to drive 5,000 miles.
a year.
Yeah. So growth in cities, some readily available statistics. 180,000 people are shifting to new cities. By 2050, 70% of the global population is going to be in an urban environment, which means transport is going to be significantly challenged and will change. And by 2050 in China, you're going to have 1.038 billion people basically participating in cities. In India, it's 875 million. So you're seeing a dramatic shift towards urbanisation. It's something that's been going on, but the net effect of transportation and particularly mobility, so we're not just talking cars, we're talking mobility solutions. There's going to be a lot of change and a lot of activity in these areas in the future, something that Magna's tracking on and look at how we can respond to in the next 10 years. So as we said, the shared item or the shared method of use of vehicles is going to be significant. There's a lot of new players coming to the market. There's people that are looking to get into the vehicle market to support the shared economy. They're not going to be the traditional OEMs. They're going to be alongside the traditional OEMs. And they may choose to do business differently in terms of how they construct a vehicle, its use case, how that vehicle's managed, how fleets are managed. So again, another opportunity for Magna, understanding the complete vehicle system, how we can participate and support our future customers in that particular area. So in order to respond to that, we have to innovate. So Magna's been innovating ever since it started its business. We now do a significant amount of innovation. We recently did an internal challenge. We had over 600 very good responses to the challenge to our employees saying, help us innovate on a particular subject. I think it was safer, was the headline for it. So we've got 152,000 smart, committed, dedicated people that participate internally in our innovation process. We also look outside quite extensively. We're open for business in terms of how we can partner with third parties, and you'll see a selection of companies here that we've either invested or partnered with over time. And this is not just North American, this is globally. So we participate and invest in businesses in Israel, United Kingdom, obviously US and Canada. We're active in Europe, and all of those have different types of regimes and methodologies for startups, for innovation, in bringing technology to companies like Magna. And we partner and we look to leverage those technologies specifically to bring them into our new products of the future. Clearly we can innovate internally, but you have to look outside for technical institutions and startup companies to give you that new technology, that edge. So mobility for the future is a significant opportunity for companies like Magna, and specifically for someone that understands the complete vehicle system, the complete vehicle architecture, who's taking notice of what the trends are for the next 10 years plus, and really establish themselves having the technology ready to apply to the solutions that our customers are looking for as we go forward. So I think with that, we can talk about announcements. There's two things that you'll see today. One is the pitch, slide and tip second row seat. It's about to debut on the GMC. I can say it's the Arcadia is the product it's going to be on. You'll see that product in the corner today. We're happy to demonstrate to you and take questions on it. And secondly, a further generation of our RS system, of our driver assistance, the trailer reverse guidance system. The next generation is actually going to be launched on the 2017 Ford Super Duty. So that will be an enhanced version of the trailer reversing system you would have seen at the North American Auto Show. Next gen enhanced version is coming out on the Ford Super Duty. So you'll see that it's here. There's a demo outside that we can show you. Pleased to show you the details of how that system works and how it's enhanced over the technology we had previously. So with that, that concludes my side of the